Chapter 37. "We're almost there," said Stanley. He could see the base of the mountain. Now they really were almost there. It scared him. Big Thumb was his only hope. If there was no water, no refuge, then they had nothing. Not even hope. There was no exact place where the flat land stopped and the mountains began. The ground got steeper and steeper, and there was no doubt that they were heading up the mountains. Stanley could no longer see Big Thumb. The slope of the mountain was in the way. It became too steep to go straight up. Instead, they zigzagged back and forth, increasing their altitude by small increments every time they changed directions. Patches of weeds dotted to the mountainside. They walked from one patch to another, using the weeds as footholds. As they got higher, the weeds got thicker. Many had thorns, and they had to be careful walking through them. Stanley would like to stop and rest, but he was afraid they'll never get started again. As long as Zero kept going, he could keep going too. Besides, he knew they didn't have much daylight left. As the sky darkened, bugs began appearing above the weed patches. A swarm of gannets hovered around them, attracted by their sweat. Neither Stanley nor Zero had the strength to swat them away. "How are you doing?" Stanley asked. Zero pointed thumbs up. Then he said, "If a gannet lands on me, it will knock me over." Stanley gave him some more words. "Bugs," he spelled. Zero concentrated hard, then said, "Bogs." Stanley laughed. A wide smile spread across Zero's sick and weary face as well. "Bugs," he said. "Good," said Stanley. "Remember, it's a short U if there's no E at the end. Okay, here's a hard one. How about Lunch? Lunch. Suddenly, Zero made a horrible retching noise as he doubled over and grabbed his stomach. His frail body shook violently and he threw up, emptying his stomach of splosh. He landed on his knees and took several deep breaths. Then he straightened up and continued going. The swarm of gannets stayed behind, preferring the content of Zero's stomach to the sweat on the boy's face. Stanley didn't give him any more words, thinking that he needed to save his strength. But about 10 or 15 minutes later, Zero said lunch. As they climbed higher, the patches of weed grew thicker, and they had to be careful not to get their feet tangled in thorn vines. Stanley suddenly realized something. There hadn't been any weeds on the lake. "Weeds and bugs," he said. "They got to be water around somewhere. We must be getting closer." A wide, clown-like smile spread across Zero's face. He flashed a thumbs-up sign, then fell. He didn't get up. Stanley bent over. "Come on, Zero," he urged. "We're getting closer. Come on, Hector. Weeds and bugs, weeds and bogs." Stanley shook him. "I've already ordered your hot fudge sundae," he said. "They're making it right now." Zero said nothing.